Okay, guys, David's guys are here. Joel and Ellie, it's time to fight back. Okay, Ellie, it's time to fight back. Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Last of Us. This one's going to be doing my video review for this week's episode of Season 1. This one is for Episode 8, which is titled When We Are All in Need. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review for today. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Last of Us. This one is for Season 1, Episode 8, the penultimate episode, When We Are All in Need. So, the penultimate episode for The Last of Us is officially released. We only have one episode left. Next week is the season finale, and I'm very, very excited. Obviously, the season finale is going to be the final part of part 1 of The Last of Us video game being adapted to television. By the time, we're sitting here next week, the entirety of The Last of Us Part 1 video game will be officially adapted to television. So that's a big deal. Definitely very excited to see how the season wraps up, but now it's time to get into this episode. So, pretty good episode this week. Pretty good episode. I'm seeing people saying that this is like the greatest episode of the season. I highly disagree with that. I actually do have a lot of issues with this episode that I am going to go into. But I liked it. Don't get me wrong, because I feel like going forward in this review, people are going to be like, Dan, you didn't like it. You didn't like the episode. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was a pretty good episode, so I'll kind of make sure I specify. I like the episode, but I do have a lot of issues with it. So we're going to go into that as well, too. Now, this is the adaptation of the major storyline in the video game where we get introduced to our group of cannibals, led by a guy named David and his right-hand man, James. And basically, in this episode, we get to see Ellie, who's out for a hunt. She's like hunting this deer or whatever. And, well, anyway, long story short, she runs into this guy named David, right? Who seems kind of off-centered, right? He seems kind of like a little off, right? And we kind of see him preaching to his people in this episode, which is, again, pretty interesting. Now, they do take a spin on the video game with David's character, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. They make him like this like religious type of guy. In the game, he did not have anything to do with any of that, but in the show, he kind of has this like religious cult type of vibe to him, which was okay for me, but it just feels very thrown in. I don't really feel like it was anything all that necessary to have him be like this religious guy. I find it to be very generic in a lot of, recent entertainment where every group of villains have to have a religious type of ideology. I feel like they should have just left the game as it is. But anyway, they added that to him, whatever, it's there, it's alright. But anyway, he runs into Ellie, and I will say that I really enjoy the standoff between Ellie and David. I think that was really well done. They talk about how, oh, we have room for you at our camp, and you can join us, and, I will admit, like, we are starving, but you can join us, you can help us, you can become one of us, And then he kind of acknowledges the fact that apparently 4 of his guys went out on a run the other day, and one of them died, and he was shot by a little girl. And then Ellie kind of, picks up on it and kind of realizes that this is a little bit of an ambush. And she basically gets out of there before the right-hand man, James, can kill her. So David wants her alive, but James kind of wants her dead, so they kind of have a bit of a disagreement. Now, I will take a second to acknowledge the fact that James, the right-hand man, is actually played by the voice actor that plays Joel in the video game. So the guy that plays Joel in the Last of Us video game, that voices him, is the guy that plays the right-hand man, James, for the cannibals. So that's pretty awesome. I really like that. I thought that was a nice touch. And one of the biggest things that I can compliment from this episode, and is probably my favorite aspect about this episode, is the actor for David. The actor for him was so good. I mean, honestly, I know him from El Camino. He was in the El Camino movie from Breaking Bad, and he did a phenomenal job as David. I mean, honestly, his, charisma and the I don't give a shit type of, persona is really cool. And he's a very careless lunatic, and I thought he did a really, really good job. Really enjoyed him. Just basically everything about him. I think David in the TV show was absolutely flawless. I think he did a phenomenal job. Now, basically, we get to see Joel. He's still not doing so well. Ellie's having to kind of fight back against these guys, and they're now trying to, of course, come after Ellie. So she leaves Joel with a knife, and she says, if anybody comes downstairs, you fucking kill them, Joel. You kill them immediately. And she goes out there, she fights them, and unfortunately, she gets knocked off her horse by James, who of course gets her, and they take her back to basically their settlement, right? So Ellie is now captured. Meanwhile, you've got Joel that actually does manage to fight back against some of David's guys. He like strangles one of the guys to death and, you know, brutally kills him. And then we get probably my favorite scene of the episode, when Joel captures two of David's guys and tortures them. Now, this is from the game. I will mention this is from the game, and it's really damn good. He tortures them to get info about where Ellie is, right? And as soon as he gets the information, he's just like, okay, yeah, we're done here. And I love it too, because he makes the one guy literally put the knife in his mouth and point where exactly she is, right? And he's like, let's hope your buddy's telling the truth too. And after a while, of course, he decides just to kill the one guy. And then the other prisoner's like, oh my god, like, how dare you kill him? And he's like, I'm not telling you shit. And Joel's like, okay, it's all right, I believe him. And he fucking whacks him. I'm like, dude, holy shit. So Joel was an absolute boss in this episode. I loved what they did with him. And I thought he was a really, really well done kind of addition to everything else going on. So he's now trying to find Ellie. And, well, then you get the reveal, as Ellie is captured, of course, that David and his group are cannibals, which, obviously, we knew this from the game, but I still thought it was a really cool reveal in the show. Again, I'm not too big on the whole religious idea with them. I just find it to be kind of whatever. But them being cannibals and that whole kind of thing that was going on there, I mean, you kind of knew just based off their reaction to the meat when they were, you know, serving it out, that something was off, but, like, you weren't 100% sure, and then, obviously, you kind of get that confirmation. But anyway, Ellie, of course, tries to kind of get out of the cell by twisting David's, like, fingers and stuff. It doesn't work, unfortunately. But I love how she's like, yeah, you go out there and tell people that I'm the one that broke your fucking finger, you know? And Bella Ramsey did a great job at that. She did a phenomenal job at that. But I will say, one thing that I definitely prefer in the game, and this is one thing that I really was not a big fan of, James's death was just very odd to me. Like, Ellie just kind of, like, gets out of there. She uses her bite as, like, a distraction to these guys, and she just kills him. Bang, boom, James is dead. I found James's death to be very rushed, very out of nowhere, and I don't know, something about his death just did not sit right with me. I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I did not like his death whatsoever. I found like he was very underused. And personally for me, if I was writing this, I would have had Joel kill James. I think Joel should have gotten that kill. I would have had another one of David's members be there with David, and she kills him in that way. Like, it's one of David's random guys. But having James be the one that just randomly dies like that was really weird. I honestly would have had a fight between TV Joel and the guy that adapts Joel in the game. I mean, think of how amazing that would have been. You would have seen TV Joel versus Game Joel in a sick, weird type of way. I think that would have been pretty cool. But instead, he just dies. He just kind of dies, and, you know, that's it, you know? So, I don't know. It was whack to me. I don't really like his death all that much. I thought they could have done better. But anyway, then you got the chase between Ellie and, of course, David. He's trying to find her. And, well, then you get to another major problem I have with this episode, unfortunately. I just do not understand where the hell David's people went. I mean, what the hell? Like, seriously, James gets killed, okay, got it. And Joel kills some of, his David's guys, got it. But where are all these people that were sitting in this building for the entire episode? Like, they just disappear. There's no explanation of where they are. David's just on his own now, and his people are nowhere to be fucking seen. I mean, seriously, it makes no sense. Can someone explain to me where David's men went? Because I'm at a total loss. And I remember I was watching that scene when he was, like, coming after Ellie and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but where the fuck are your people? Like, seriously. I don't know. And even the final fight between Ellie and David in the show, I mean, it was pretty good. It was a good standoff, but I think the game did it better. And again, I'm going to continue to bring up the game because I just feel like the game did a better job. There were more infected involved. James was a lot better in the game. and it just felt I don't know, it was a decent adaptation to the cannibals. I think it was pretty good. Like I said, I enjoy the episode. I like David as a villain. I think that, Ellie and Joel did good. But there was something lacking for me, and honestly, I think the biggest thing about it is the length, guys. Honestly, the length of the episode was so fucking short. I'm sorry, but it was so damn short. Like, 51 minutes to adapt that group from the game, to adapt the cannibals, to adapt David, to adapt James, to adapt everything they did there. I mean, it just felt so short. The episode needed to be longer. And I think that's where a lot of my issues come in, is that by the time you get to the final 10 minutes, it felt like they just completely rushed it out. James, boom, he's dead. David, boom, he's dead. His group, nowhere to be seen. Boom, we got to get them out of here. We only have 50 minutes, It felt so rushed in the last 10 minutes. It was unbelievably rushed. In comparison to how amazing it was in the game. In the game, I loved David's arc. As a matter of fact, it's my favorite part of the game. So adapting it to the show, you have an amazing actor for David, I feel. I think the actor did a phenomenal job. But everything else around it with the religious idea and even the cannibal idea felt very obvious to a point. And I don't know. I think that this was a okay adaptation of the game, of this portion of the game. As a TV only thing, if you've never played the game before, okay, this is pretty cool. But I don't know. It left a little bit to be desired for me. I'm gonna be honest. But like I said, it's a good episode. I give it like a solid 7.5. That's what I'll give it. It's there. It's pretty decent. The episode itself was decently adapted, but I think we could have had 2 episodes. I really do. If we have time to spend 2 episodes with Kathleen, we have time to spend 2 episodes with David. I mean, honestly. So, I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts. I feel like the episode, honestly, lengthwise, especially when you have episodes that are like an hour and a half with Bill and Frank, but you only have 51 minutes with like the best storyline from the video game, and you cut it short and you rush it towards the end. I don't know. It fell a little flat for me, but it was a pretty good episode. I'll give it a 7.5. It was good. That's all I can do for it. So, I don't know. As a game fan, I felt a little disappointed, but it was pretty good. So, anyway, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos for The Last of Us. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Last of Us. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.